In other news, we still don't know the motive behind the deadly club shooting in Colorado Springs, but the left-wing press is running with the LGBTQ hate crime narrative over news. But the suspect, 22-year-old Anderson Lee Aldrich, does not appear to have the cleanest record. Last year, he was allegedly charged with felony menacing and kidnapping after his mother reported he threatened her with a homemade bomb and other weapons. Prosecutors did not pursue any charges at the time, and records in that case are sealed. Later, he was able to purchase a gun despite the state's red flag laws. Joining me now is president of the Crime Prevention Research Center and author of Gun Control Myths, Dr. John Lott. Dr. Lott, thank you very much for being here, sir. Look, because of the press conference, we have a truncated visiting time here. I just want to ask you, you've come up with a recent article stating that you have a solution to all of these shootings, and it's the reinstatement of capital punishment. Make your case.
Right. Well, I mean, we've had a big increase in murder over the last few years. But what people have missed is that the death penalty has pretty much gone into non-existence since 2020. There's only been 8 states that have used the death penalty, and most of those have just used it once. You have literally hundreds of murderers on death row that are just piling up, and a lot of states aren't doing it effectively. There are 2 points here. One, you can just look at the cases recently, like the Charleston church mass murderer or the Nicholas Cruz at Parkland. These people have fought not to get the death penalty. There's a reason why they do that. In fact, in the Charleston church shooting case, the person willingly accepted 7 life sentences in exchange for taking the death penalty off the table. To me, that proves deterrence. It proves that those people are much more afraid of the death penalty than they are afraid of having to spend the rest of their life in prison. The second issue, and there's lots of empirical work by lots of academics that show that each person that's executed reduces the number of murders by about 8 times. So that's 8 lives saved for every one you execute. The other issue is one of cost. People look at just a very narrow range. They look at the cost of the trials when you try to put somebody up for the death penalty, or they look at the appeal. What they forget to look at is how all the plea bargains, such as the South Carolina case, saves huge amounts of money. The fact that he was willing, if you took the death penalty off the table, he pleaded guilty, meant you didn't have to have a long, involved trial in that case. And there are many, many cases where simply taking the death penalty off the table saves huge amounts of money.
All right. Dr. John Lott, your new piece is in the Washington Times, I believe. I think folks ought to give it a read because it makes a very compelling case. Sir, thank you very much for the visit. Sorry about the truncated visit, but breaking news trumps everything.